What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are looking at Unit 1, Investigation 1. Unit 1, Investigation 1, and we're moving on to Activity 5. So we're wrapping up Investigation 1 this week. All right, so remember, as we wrap up each investigation, we are going to be moving to a quiz. So just keep that in mind. Um, Again, we want to make sure that we've always got two tabs open, one for Schoology and one for our interactions page. Okay, take a look at what we have been through so far. Remember, we can navigate through the in different activities in the investigation through this menu button here. Right, so we were talking about some examples of things that stick together and some things that don't. What are some patterns in how things stick together or push apart? What effect do charged objects have on uncharged objects? And how do I know if something is positively or negatively charged? All right, so we've been talking about positive charges, negative charges, how they interact, how they push or pull together. Our question here is, how does an object's charge affect its interactions with neutral objects? Okay, so if we start to take a look through here, okay, because this is an activity towards the end, at the end of the investigation, excuse me, it's going to recall back on other activities quite frequently, right? So it's, there's starts out with a couple multiple choice questions. One thing that's a little bit different because of the snow day and things like that last week and the changes in schedule that have been going around, myself and the other science teachers I've been working with, we were not able to film the experiment for this activity. With that being said, the experiment is very similar to ones that we've done. So what I did is I put this, I sort of put some data here for you to use. Okay, so we've talked about we've seen different rods and different friction materials, in this experiment specifically, it's asking us to try to see what's happening with different neutral materials. So I picked three neutral materials, one being an uncharged balloon, meaning I didn't rub it with any fur, two pieces of paper like we saw in, I think that's 1.2. And then I used a water bottle, again, like we saw earlier in this investigation. And I showed you, I provided you with whatever reaction that happened. Okay, in some cases we saw that it attracted. In some cases we saw that there was no reaction at all. So again, I apologize we weren't able to get this lab filmed, but I provided some data that I had collected really in years before. This is an experiment that people have done in person, and I just used the data that they collected and sort of compiled it and found the common thread. So that will have to suffice for the experiment part. Okay, it's going to ask you some more questions about different charged materials, different neutral materials. Okay, there's a little game here. All right, and there's two things. There's two assignments that you'll be submitting screenshots of. One being this game. So as you play it, you click it, and you've got a particle down here, and sort of runs you through the directions. You can change the charge of that particle to neutral, positive, negative, whatever. If you find yourself struggling, you can reset it and start over. All right, you're going to be taking a screenshot of this and submitting it here. Okay, moving on. Okay, we've seen this video before. You're taking a look at it again, and it's going to ask you to draw a model, make a model you're also going to take a screenshot of this. That will be submitted here. Okay, so we're submitting a screenshot of our maze game after we've won, and then our PyPan model revision after we have completed it here. Again, we should be showing charges, either positive or negative. There are, if you go in here, there are different, you can use different size text. Okay, I like to remind you guys to use these stamps because it has molecules and different objects right here. There's magnets in here. But right now, we've got a gray. I like to use the gray one as a neutral. I've got a plus and I've got a minus for positive and negative. Okay, and then you can also draw different lines. There's different shapes and stuff in here. But be sure to show motion. Okay, it's one of the challenges that we're working to overcome is how to illustrate or show an illustration of a moving object in a two-dimensional photo. So we're submitting that screenshot right here. There's a video here at the end in case you have any other questions. As we've gone through this couple semesters in a row, this just sort of addresses some questions that I find keep popping up. So as always, do shoot me any specific questions on Schoology, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.